What flaws or letdowns have you willingly looked past for good qualities or moments with your partner? Lack of ability to provide emotional support. It used to be so important to me, but now that I don't need it anymore, I'm fine as long my partner can manage to not actively make a distressing situation worse. I overlooked a ton of red flags when I was young, expecting my partner to grow over time. Not following through with what he said was a huge one. When we had kids, and he'd told the kids he would do something, and then didn't, I confronted him. His response was, well, I didn't promise. I don't even know what the beginning of the end was for he and I. But truly understanding that his word meant nothing to him is definitely on the list. I used to overlook a lot, but now I'm very strict in what I'll deal with and what I won't. I made a list of non-negotiables and now stick with it. If a guy doesn't meet the list or posse's those qualities, I don't entertain him. I know what I can live with and what I can't. I can live with my fiancé being forgetful. I cannot live with him pushing all the house chores and cooking onto me. I can't live with him wanting to argue if I try to express how I feel. I can't live with a guy who calls women females, etc., etc. If they act like they don't respect women as a whole, I will not tolerate that. I love the man I'm with. And there are very few, if any, sticking points in our relationship. However, I had to name the biggest one. However, it'd be the fact that he isn't good at taking initiative when it comes to being romantic. If I want him to plan anything, I have to get the ball rolling. Simple date night with a film at home? Nah. The idea wouldn't occur to him. He makes up for it in literally every other area. But I do have to remind him to stop being so stereotypically Dutch sometimes. Am I racist if I get annoyed by how African American people write or talk on social media? Don't equate that to being black. Skin color has nothing to do with the content of the character. It's just that there are cultural behavior between people who live together that just happen to have more melanin in their skin. As soon you meet individual from a different culture, you can't assume that they have anything in common just because they have similar amounts of melanin in their skin. So no, you don't get annoyed by how African Americans talk, but by how distinct culture talks. That's not racist if that's the case. I don't think you have racist intentions given it's just frustrating you out of comprehension difficulties. But you have to understand it is African American Vernacular English, aka AVE. It's a subset of American English used by African American people, with specific grammatical rules and vocabulary. Many like to act like it's slang or lacks logic. But you can precisely learn its sentence structure, etc. Linguists have studied it. It's readable to AVE speakers. It's not mistakes or unintentional. It can be hard for non-native speakers. If it's something important, maybe just ask for clarification. I'm sure your own language can have several shadings as well, but you don't realize it. I indistinctly use my own language in English, the latter I'm so and so. When I write in Italian, I naturally use a colloquial language also in writing, so I suspect non-mother tongue may misunderstand, but that's part of improving their own fluency of my language. Same for English having a huge and wider span and as a consequence, dialects and opos. You don't have to discriminate the gender or skin color. You have to just consider the language as a fluid thing. And that we never stop to learn, and we have to learn and not to rebuke people who do not write like we would like. What book would you definitely recommend to someone to read? I really enjoyed Origins by Lewis Dartnell. Talks about how the earth itself shaped the drama of the human race, eye-opener. Might sound silly. But The Battle of the Labyrinth, by Rick Riordan. Or just the entire Percy Jackson series while you're at it. It was the first time I saw a story explore the idea of misdirected anger in such a clever way, and made me rethink about my entire life and made me wonder how many of the things I felt was I actually aware of what was causing it, and how many was I just misdirecting so I wouldn't hate what I didn't want to hate or like what I didn't want to like. It showed me that sometimes your own brain can sabotage yourself. And you won't even notice it. Just started reading recently after many years not touching books. Used to read all the time when I was 12. Mythos by Stephen Fry is fantastic. Very funny and interesting look into Greek mythology. Also, I'm about halfway through Game of Thrones. After the series caught my interest on YouTube, I decided to read the books. From what I've seen so far, it's very good. IHCal, A Chemical Love Story. As someone who had zero interest in psychedelics at all, I found the book deeply fascinating. Well written and in some small ways life-changing. Genius research scientist, all true BTW, has free reign to experiment with Schedule I drugs. Rediscovers NDMA. Creates hundreds of experimental psychedelic drugs. Tries them with his wife and hippie friends and writes about the experiences. Also has great insights into the war on drugs. Society's misunderstanding of psychedelics and the possible uses for therapy. Highly recommended for anyone interested in science. Drugs. That hippie period in the 60s/70s, or anyone looking for something unique to read. What's the most athletic thing you've done lately? Achieve a 6-minute mile time. Next fitness goal is getting my middle split down. Ran for 15 minutes straight, for the first time in my life. Hauling water buckets uphill through snow to livestock. I bought a 1970s Schwinn bike. I am nervous since I haven't ridden in 35 years. I went on a 2-hour walk, through the city, with 5 kids between the ages of 4 and 6. This was quite an experience. I did a 30-minute run this morning a bit after I got up. Single arm rode a 45 pounds dumbbell. I didn't know I had it in me like that. I started assisted pull-ups. Love how my arms and shoulders look. I'm recovering from an injury. So the most I've done lately is yoga and some push-ups. Strength session at the gym this morning. Was a killer. Have sex? I was the bottom in missionary. But damn, my thighs and cheeks have been sore for days. Ran 6 miles yesterday. I'll walk in the treadmill today but just haven't done it yet. Deadlifted 155 pounds. I'm 5'3", 130 pounds for reference. Mind you, I was only able to do 4 reps, but goddamn, I need people to be proud of that, lol. I went to the gym this morning. On the elliptical for 30 minutes. And some leg work. Exercising keeps my mental health in tune, and as a 58-year woman maintains my physical health too. I've tried to go without it and it is not good. I'm on my last weeks of being pregnant. I had to run around to catch my cat to give her the medicine and take care of her stitches. I have a huge bed. I asked my mom and sis for help and both were such idiots that failed to catch her. I had to push and pull my bed, IKEA bed, so no biggie, till I could actually get to her. I almost passed out. So Therese that.